Welcome everybody to another Dread Pirate video. Today I'm doing something a little different, talking about what value a story and book Critic has, and a little bit of why I made this channel. Reviews will resume with my next video, but I appreciate you being here anyway for a departure from the usual. It's important to acknowledge alongside the value of critics that the man in the arena, so famously coined by Theodore Roosevelt, inherently has more worth than a critic. He creates from within himself, while the creator merely creates outside of himself. Without the creator, in this focus the storyteller, the thread of our cultural values would dwindle as we continually relied on the past to make relevant our modern experiences. Both creator and critic are the sum of their experiences. In the case of readers and writers, what we've read and lived informs how we decide the value of stories. But the writer has attempted to make the internal external and shouldered the inherent risks that come in that translation. They've attempted to build outward, to contribute a verse to the powerful play, and risk their plank in the bridge, not holding the weight of others' scrutiny. I know baseball. I know the intricacies of what goes into hitting a major league fastball, but I could never do it in 100 tries. Well, maybe I could get one hit. The point is, all sincere attempts to create add more value to the world than someone who pontificates and assigns value to the work of others. Critiquing only to judge another and have that stand in for your own creativity is worth less than the work that they find flaw in. Now, I want to make clear that critiquing writing, like I do with fiction, however, still has enormous value in the proper context, particularly on a personal application scale. It's why I write my own stories too, and critique fiction for the purpose of learning. You see, critics and their practices are not inherently evil. Writing, like all art, is subjective, but even subjectivity is beholden to parameters, the whim of the audience. Critics can be safeguards for what we've decided to value as a culture, and they can provide a challenge in good faith to those who disagree with their analysis. Thinking about why you might like something that a critic has denigrated can help your own journey of self-discovery as well, and also develop the truth that criticism does not equal an attack. What qualifies as literature or literary is not necessarily the bloated, bouncing target of modern academics. As a former high school English teacher, it drove me crazy what we were allowed and not allowed to bring into the classroom. I understand teaching aligned to education standards and even to national tests to some extent, but English class, at least the K through 12 arena that I was in, I felt lacked the element of teaching children to love reading, to develop a love of learning for later on in life that would yield us a population who could not only read, but gain valuable skills like articulating what they thought in writing and understanding subtext, a skill that's valuable anywhere that uses communication, literally every role in society. Good literature is simply resonant with its audience. That I think is obvious enough to say for certain. It doesn't have to impart a timely commentary on when it was written or a grand universal truth in its theme. It can, but reading can also be aspirational or inspirational. If a character changes the way that we look at our own life and how we spend our time, how is that less valuable than Virginia Woolf's criticisms of Victorian-era culture? If Conan the Barbarian gets me to the gym, or Edgar Allan Poe's unfortunate protagonists warn about indulging my own intrusive thoughts too much, or being alone too much, how is that not a valuable part of the literary tapestry? Maddie Ross from the novel True Grit made me do things I was anxious about doing in my own life because she did things on her own despite being a child and a female in the middle of the untamed West. And I bring her up specifically because I tried to get that book approved for my own curriculum and was denied due to the lexile, or text complexity, being too low for high schoolers. J.R.R. Tolkien has a quote about the creator and the sub-creator, that it's our job as humans made in the image of a creator to go out and create. From my own experience, creating your own stories and critiquing in good faith to personally improve the world around you, to resonate with it, to articulate your inner thoughts so you know what you know and what you value is incredibly fulfilling. I hope you'll add your thoughts in the comments below about this topic. I don't pretend to know everything. I'll conclude by framing all I've said simply as one reader and one writer's perspective who happens to have a goofy little YouTube channel and bothered to put his rabbit trail of thoughts into a video. God, how pretentious is that guy? Who would have time for something like that?